What's going on, everyone? My name's Alex. That's Eileen, and you're watching Straight the Chicane podcast. And I know it's not our normal time when we release this, but we were
at the U.S. Grand Prix.
And we drove with an RV, and we had a long trip back, and we had some issues. So we just are now, after some rest and some reflection on this weekend, we are now getting back to doing this.
Yes, what a weekend.
It was what a weekend. Honestly, it was
the best.
It was a very, very good race. I think we all experienced a great race.
We lucked out.
Yeah.
We had tickets at turn one. I think that was the cherry on top.
I've heard some talk that, a lot of people are excited about other races here in America. And now that we went to both
this year,
we got to go to Miami and then to Austin. I can say for a fact Austin is way, way better track to watch.
I mean, we had two totally different experiences, which I feel like the cities are two totally different experiences. If you want a party
and off-track festivities,
yeah, I would say Miami.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be like what New York is, or Vegas is going to be.
We also didn't stay downtown, so that was one of the things with Austin. But
no, but we stayed. No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, but that doesn't mean you can't party because our neighbors really partied.
We stayed at the RV, which was kind of behind turn 3, 4, and 5, and it's a whole RV area, and it was pretty sweet.
It was a blast.
Some really nice RVs, people camping with tents and everything like that. Really pretty decent views every morning. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, lots of walking. So if you're going to camp, be prepared to walk.
I think if you're just coming to one of the races there, you got to walk. I mean, even when we were in Miami, we had a little bit of walking to do as well,
Yeah. No, we did. We got our exercise in, just to say the least. So
yeah. But honestly, the terrain there and the viewpoints that you have from certain parts of the track, and then they have the whole entire tower thing. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great.
It's something you should experience. I mean, we had, record-breaking 440,000 people throughout the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Which was like, 100 and something thousand every day. Mm-hmm. And it grew from there, so.
Well, I'm sure it was a sight for everybody watching it, too, on TV.
Yeah.
Even practice and qualifying was packed, the grandstands.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we didn't have general admission this time because we would have had to get there so early. So we were a little bit blessed with that.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience. So if you're in America, you should go next year.
Even if you're not, I think it's a good destination to go to. I think if you're debating to go between one of the 3 races that we have here in America this year, next year, the cheapest one's probably going to be Austin. From everything I can tell, Vegas is going to be the most expensive.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And then Miami is pretty expensive. I mean, we just bought 1-day general admission,
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Vegas, there's a lot of hype around it. We talked to a lot of people this weekend of just if they're going to go or if they're not going to go. I think it's the spectacle of it.
Yeah.
People are excited because it's Vegas. But obviously, Vegas and Miami are street courses. Austin is not. So.
No, I know, and Austin is a true racing F1 track. They do MotoGP, and there's talk of other things happening there as well, like NASCAR already happens now, but they're talking about maybe doing some other things.
NASCAR happens in COTA?
They do.
NASCAR doesn't just drive in a circle?
No.
Do I sound really stupid saying that?
No, I mean, you don't watch American racing, so, I mean, it's like, why would you know?
I would like to see that.
So they a fun fact, which I kind of learned fairly, I knew, but I kind of forgot. But what they do is when they come out of turns, you know how Formula One has to stay within the white lines?
Mm-hmm. They just go wherever?
Oh, yeah.
It's just rogue
so
rogue
they
racing.
can make the turn, and then when they come out after the apex, when they come out, they can go as wide as they want.
Okay. So, and they crash into each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're doing this year, I just saw that from Mexico race this year, which is this weekend right now coming up. They're doing some like legends in NASCARs, and so that's going to be on that track as well.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, they do left and right turns. However,
I know. I think I'm just so used to just NASCAR.
And on the bowls, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, favorite part of the Grand Prix weekend?
Honestly, the views. The fact that we were able to stay trackside pretty much and not have to deal with traffic, because traffic was a lot. Parking was kind of far, and then taking the trams around, it was a lot of commuting for people, and our stay was much easier. And I would recommend that. And I think like a lot of people do that, like Silverstone and other places too.
Yeah.
You know, it just saves, you know, just go over there for the weekend. That's what you're doing for the weekend. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
You know, just be fully invested. And I would say that's what you should do, because you're going to save a little bit of money by, you know, hotels, gas, parking. You know, it's a lot.
Okay.
You know?
So you liked the camping?
Yeah.
Okay. So besides the race, I think that's everybody. I mean, the race was great.
Honestly, we got really lucky with this race being really good. Like, typically, they give us good racing at COTA, but this year with this season, we were like, it might be just a little flat. But due to what was happening, you know, with Max's second pit stop being a kind of a failure, there was a lot of overtakes everywhere. And there was some good racing down to the wire with Sebastian and
two races in a row. Sebastian at the line.
Yeah. So I think this one was Magnussen and Sebastian. So I think, you know, really good last lap racing.
Yeah, we had some good entertainment.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
Well, besides the race, because I really enjoyed the race.
Yeah.
I enjoyed our seats a lot.
Yeah.
We had access on Friday. Thursday we had access to the pit lane. So we got to see like practice pit stops. We got to see the weekend warm up being filmed. So that was cool. So we got to see Will Buxton.
Yeah.
And Lawrence Beretta.
I think we're in it. I think. Yep.
Yeah. That was cool. You know, just kind of seeing the behind the scenes, being able to see in. I think I was like so excited for that, because that's the closest we got to the action, obviously on track. So that was a fun experience. I mean, the whole weekend was great. I actually really enjoyed camping, so I second that, because when we first started researching, was like, well, we'll fly in and we'll, you know, stay here and, you know, researching. But just having the accessibility to be able to get to the track each day, go back, you know, in between, it was nice. So.
It was. We were able to save a little bit of money instead of eating all the time at the track, because the track, everything is. It's like going to a stadium event here in America. You know, you're going to pay
times 10.
Yeah, double, triple what it should be. You know, so just being able to go back, relax for a little bit, because, you know, on Fridays we have 2 practices, so there's a little bit of time in between. And we were close enough to our seats.
Yeah, and they had canceled the W Series going into this weekend. So we're supposed to have the Women's Series.
Yeah, so how do you feel about that, actually?
I mean, it's disappointing.
It is disappointing. I mean, we don't really follow it a whole lot, to be honest.
Well, we saw them race in Miami.
We did.
I mean, I feel like Jamie Chadwick is kind of like the Max Verstappen of the W Series.
She's pretty good. Yeah, we do want that series to continue going on, and if there's like enough money for other things, there should be funding for that. You know, I think we're committed to Formula 2. We're committed to Formula 3.
Well, I think just the better support for W Series, as a whole. So, like, what is F1 doing to help support?
Yeah.
Which there was huge conversation after it did get canceled, you know, because they had 3 races left of the season. And
just gone.
Yeah. But, you know, they're focusing, I guess, on next year's endeavors and how they can finance a little bit better. So that kind of freed up some time. So there really wasn't a whole lot. You know, there was some, I shouldn't say there wasn't a whole lot. There was always stuff going on. But yeah, no, it was a great weekend.
Yeah.
We saw a lot. We saw a lot of F2 or just, you know, rookie drivers driving in practice.
A lot of rookie drivers, that were in practice 1. They got to go
I shouldn't say rookie because Giovinazzi was one of the drivers.
Yeah, and he took a spin and he hit the wall.
And he binned it, yes.
Yeah, which was not unexpected. I don't not like the guy, but I think he's done with Formula One, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, they gave him...
Well, he did Formula E, too, and then they dropped him, right?
Okay.
Or he decided not to.
Yeah, and then, you know, what's he... You know, I just don't think Formula One... It's the top tier. He showed what he was able to do for multiple years. And he didn't really progress the way they wanted to. Look, we have other people on the chopping block this year right now. We have with Schumacher.
I know you have feelings about this.
I do. I think he's a good enough driver. I think his name alone offers him, you know, for the fact that I don't know for a fact. I just think, and from what I've researched, that he's not a paid driver. He's not coming with money, right? So he's doing it the right way. However, he could come with money.
He definitely could, yeah.
You know, and...
I mean, the name is good for the sport anyways. I think they're giving him a lot of bad reps because he has crashed a few times this season.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's a good amount of times that the engine has failed for him, and just those Ferrari engines in general have failed this year, that kind of hurts his record too, so...
Yeah, I think you can't overlook the fact that there has been machine issues. You know, his car has given him some problems, and he has made some mistakes, you know, and it is his second year.
He's young. I mean, look at some of the drivers. I mean, Yuki hadn't scored points going into this race since May.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're the same level. I mean, it's interesting. So I guess we'll see. I mean, there's 3 races left. I'm sure we should hear some more stuff. But
I can't believe there's only 3 races left.
I know. It's kind of sad.
I know.
It's kind of sad.
It just tells you how fast the year has gone, and the fact that we're already in November almost.
It did go fast, yes.
So
Logan Sargeant.
Yeah.
So thoughts? So obviously we saw him race this weekend in FP1.
And then they announced that if he does get his super point license points,
he will be the Williams' second driver.
He will be. So that means Latifi is gone.
Well, we know Latifi's gone.
Yeah.
We knew that.
Yeah. But now it's just for sure.
He could potentially be going to IndyCar.
Yeah, which is okay. It's fine. That's where I think Formula One drivers should go. They're the top tier. And
well, Daniel Ricciardo doesn't want to go to IndyCar.
I don't think Daniel Ricciardo's ready to... He's still a pretty good driver. I think he just didn't fit into here at McLaren, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be bold, I guess. Yeah, I think that car wasn't set for him. It was...
I don't think... You know, especially, I mean, this weekend, it was a tough race for him. A tough race.
For him being one of his favorite tracks.
I mean, he was like 13 seconds off of whatever. I mean, he was second to last place, but I don't remember who was in front of him, but it was pretty tough. So
I mean, he was out in Q1. You know, and that's pretty tough. Seeing the fact that he walked in, you know, on Thursday, or I should say rode in on a horse on Thursday.
He galloped in.
Yeah, that was just pretty awesome. I mean,
it was epic.
I know, and we didn't get to see it personally in real life. However, we did hear about it, and it was the talk of the paddock. And we just
got to the campground, and I opened Instagram, and I'm like, Ricardo is here in the paddock on a horse. This is amazing. So. Yeah. Very true Danny Ricciardo, Austin fashion. So,
yeah.
Speaking of fashion, is it like just we have to wear a cowboy hat if we go to the U.S. Grand Prix?
I think the U.S. Grand Prix being in Austin, Texas, they do the whole thing Texas-wise. I think
they do. Every driver got cowboy boots.
Yeah, I think the cowboy hat is tradition for Texas. I think so. I think, you know, we have now more American spots. However, Miami is glamorous beach and high end, and Vegas is going to be celebrity and
high end
and the ultra wealthy
and parties.
Yeah, it's going to be.
The race is on Saturday, right?
Saturday night.
Yeah,
it's a Saturday night race.
So then everyone is staying till Monday.
Oh, man.
The drivers are going to be lit on Sunday.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy. Crazy. The tickets haven't even gone on sale yet, have they?
Do you even know the dates?
I swear to God, it's Black Friday weekend. The only reason I know that is because I work in retail. And my boss already told me I can't go. So I'm like... It is what it is. We want to go to Silverstone next year in place of that GP. So we'll see. But we'll definitely be following the action closely for Vegas, but maybe year two. Maybe. We'll see.
I don't know.
Okay, so what was your least favorite part of the weekend?
I think just the lack of cleanliness, and if I'm going to be honest, the messiness of everybody. And
I'll tell you what my least favorite part of the weekend was.
Yeah.
We like to listen to the international broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't feel right without Crofty and Martin Brundle.
Yeah, well, they also didn't do that in Miami either. And
they just don't do it at the races, so you feel like you have to listen. We tried to listen on our headphones because it's not the same.
I don't want to even listen to the radio broadcast because the radio broadcast is the local broadcast.
Which you can pay for, like, headphones.
Or if you have headphones with radio stations, yes.
But no, that was the one thing. I wish that they would play the international because I just feel like if you're a true F1 fan that's like following it every single week, you're probably listening to that. I mean, who's not listening to Crofty?
I don't know. There must be some people. And
it's lights out and away we go. It's just, they didn't say it.
I know. I mean, look, it's, no, they don't say it because that is Crofty's thing.
Yeah.
I just think what I like about the sport is that it's not super Americanized. And I think Formula One needs to be careful on how far they Americanize it. I think that's what's special about it.
Spoken from a true American.
I do. I mean, yeah, I am an American, but I feel like if we put too much American into it, it's going to ruin the sauce.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just speaking.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. I can't say much that was bad. Obviously, you know what you're paying for when you get to the track. It's amazing. There's a merch stand on every corner and on every hill, everywhere. So you can buy merchandise, i.e. So I would say we spent just shy of probably like $800 on just merchandise, which we knew what we were getting ourselves into. This isn't our first race. But it is staggering when you first see the prices. And every time we were standing in line buying something, people would be like, $90 for a hat. I think these were $90. The AMG hats were $120. Like, so it's crazy. So if you're going to a race for your first time and you don't want to pay the prices, which is kind of part of the spectacle to buy the merchandise there.
Sometimes, yeah.
Just buy it on F1.com or on the team's websites.
Definitely get it cheaper online before
get it way cheaper.
Yeah.
So,
and that's typically what we do. However, there was a couple things that we wanted to get, and I finally said yeah.
Yeah, we got the big stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's staggering how expensive it is, and then just the food and beverage costs. So, but just be prepared.
And here's the thing is we've heard complaints about other races that the queue lines for everything were really bad and really long, and honestly, they weren't too bad.
No.
I feel like I waited longer for food in Miami than I waited for food in Austin. However, there was one day, the day of the race, that there was a moment where the lines were kind of moving slow or whatever, but it was never really that bad. Even with the bathrooms, they were never really that bad.
No.
My issue is with the cleanliness is with there wasn't enough toilet paper, and there should have been multiple crews in there all the time cleaning. And that's even with the RV, the campsite area that they offered, that we paid money to use the showers and didn't even have hot water.
He's so mad about the shower because the women's shower had a bench. And for all the ladies out there, we know how we get preferential treatment for our bathrooms.
I mean, look, we all talk about equal fare.
Oh my God, you cannot even compare that.
I know. I'm just playing. I couldn't, when you walk into the men's shower area, it was flooded with water everywhere.
I mean, it got flooded in there. It's just maybe women aren't as messy.
I would agree with that. I mean, there's, for sure. And there's more men moving through there fast than there's the women, for sure. But it's just, I would have liked a little bit more comfort or more cleanliness because it wasn't even leveled perfectly. If they leveled the trailers better too, it was just for the amount of money you're spending on all the off-track things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not complaining and saying I had to do it. Like I had to spend the money. Like I chose to do those showers, which is fine. You know,
he's like really heated about the showers. Okay, this is why it took us so long to film the podcast, because he was upset about the showers.
There was lots of issues. We had our issues with the RV breaking down.
We had our issues.
And some electrical issues.
Nothing with the actual Grand Prix weekend.
No.
All extra stuff. So we won't bore you with the details. Yeah. But it was a journey.
So I guess we haven't really talked much about the race, and we've already been here for like a good 20 minutes.
Let's talk about the race.
Yeah, but if you haven't yet, if you guys are still watching, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, comment. We want to know any of your thoughts about what we've just been talking about, really, or what you guys thought of the race or the race weekend.
Were you there?
From your point of view, or if you were there.
Yeah,
we gotta catch up and say hi sometimes, because I had some friends on Facebook that like I'm friends with in my industry, in the film industry, and they were there, but we didn't realize. Mm-hmm. So I think we all need to do better, anyways. But yeah, let's talk about the race more.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Carlos Sainz, Heartbreak.
Carlos Sainz had a really good qualified P1, and really laid down a really fast lap that no one really could even touch. I mean, it was pretty close. Max was 0.14 or whatever it was.
Well, Leclerc was P2, but he took the engine penalty. So it was the Ferrari, as typical, one lap fast on Saturday.
Yeah, their front cars are really fast on a one lap. You're right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then it was Red Bull 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And then Mercedes 5, 6.
Yeah.
But Perez and Leclerc took engine penalties, so they dropped. So it was Sainz, Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell. And sitting at turn 1, we definitely got to see a fair amount of overtaking and a lot of action. So we did see the contact. Which, man.
I have the contact on film, on camera. Definitely, I'm going to be posting that here really soon.
So, what do you think? Like, all Russell's fault? 5-second penalty? Too light? Not enough?
No, I think it's fair. It was a little bit more than a racing incident. He could have, only because he locked up. Mm-hmm. So he was coming in there way too hot for that area. Sainz had to make a hesitation and wait for Max to kind of get past him as well, for him to do that undercut. Mm-hmm. However, Sainz was fully in the lead and had the right of way of the racing line, and the fact that Russell had a lockup, and we saw the lockup happening.
We did, yeah. So, I mean, it's hard for me. I feel like we've seen so many opening lap 1 incidents.
Yeah.
And I feel like it kind of goes in tune with a few other things that happened this race. That, was it a penalty? Was it not? Should they have been black and orange flagged? Should they have not? So I don't know. I remember earlier this year, and obviously Carlos wasn't on pole, but I think it was Imola when Ricciardo hit him. They obviously messed up his race. Yeah. He was beached. I think Ricciardo went on, or maybe they both were out, but no penalty there. So I don't know. It's tough when you watch it. I think it was George's definitely mistake. He needs to be a little bit more cautious, which he said. Going into the next 3 races, he just wants to focus on finishing them and having no issues. So
yeah,
we'll see. But it's definitely a heartbreak for Carlos. So he's only finished 1 lap in the last 2 races, and it's brought him, pretty down. Obviously, in the rankings, I think Lewis is right behind him.
I think it's not only 1 lap in the last 2 races, but in the last 6 or something races, it's only 60 laps or something. Because he also did this prior 2 races in a row where he messed up, and this is kind of why he's not even in contention anymore. Before that, he was looking pretty good. There was moments where he was right there, possibly going to do good, but then he had engine issues, reliability issues. He got hit. Mm-hmm. I don't even know, maybe 1 or 2 times this year that maybe one time it was his fault. Other than that, it's always not his fault. Yeah. So I mean, it's just a bummer.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is. So that was the initial heartbreak of the race.
Yeah.
And we saw Stroll P3. after that, which was crazy.
And he stood there and he was there for a little bit. He was able to hold on and had a pretty decent race going.
I mean, Aston Martin has been doing pretty well.
They've improved. I think they've improved their car the most, honestly, from where they were to be kind of contending in the upper,
Well, they're definitely doing a lot better. They outscored Mercedes in the last 2 races before the U.S. Grand Prix. Obviously, those were some unusual races, wet weather, but they both raced well. So Stroll was in P3, Hamilton was in P2. So, obviously there was some changes. Perez ended up initial lap having some contact. So that's the controversy with his wing end plate that came off during the race.
Yeah. So finally, once it came off fully, he was fine. There was no issue, but there was moments before when it was kind of dangling and flying around that he could have needed to get called in to get that replaced. So he kind of got lucky with it fully coming off.
Well, the interesting thing is he came in for a pit stop and they were like, is he going to change the front wing?
Yeah, and they didn't.
And they didn't. And then it came off.
Yeah.
So Haas is not happy, okay? Kevin Magnussen has been black and orange flagged 3 times for front wing damage this season. 3 times.
Yeah, but his front wing damage has always been pretty bad and worse than that one. I don't know. I don't know. There's maybe some favoritism, but look, that's not the same. It's not the same.
I don't know if it's favoritism. I think it's just inconsistency.
Yeah, okay, sure. Inconsistency.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we saw Perez had to fight with the damage all weekend. He still had a great race. He was definitely not as quick as Max, but he made his charge through the field, so.
Yeah.
What else did we see?
Honestly, the big thing for me was Lewis had a really good first pit stop. It wasn't the greatest, but it was good. And Lewis was holding his own in that area. But we also had Vettel in the lead for a few laps, which was awesome to see. However, he wasn't able to keep it. Lewis passed him.
Well, they also had pitted twice, the leaders.
Yeah.
And Vettel was only on a 1 stop at that point.
He was.
But he was leading the Grand Prix. And then another failed pit stop of the weekend was Seb's after that.
Yeah, so, Max went in for his second pit stop, and there was an issue with the gun, and he ended up having an 11-second pit stop.
Mm-hmm.
Got
beautiful.
out. Yeah, beautiful. Slim, beautiful. Came out behind Leclerc.
In the pit lane.
And however, was easily passed him within the next lap. I believe that was at turn 1 because we saw a lot of passing.
Oh my God!
At turn
Norris
1.
3 laps in a row.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I say, if you're gonna go to the race, you're gonna stay at turn 1 or turn 6. Any other spot, it's cool, it's good. You're probably paying for a good spot, but you're not getting the whole view of the whole entire place.
Yeah, turn 1 is where it's at.
Yeah, you can follow pretty much the whole entire race from there. At least from where we are, you can literally see. You can't see the whole entire track. There's parts where they're gone for a second.
Yeah.
But you can see 75% of the track. Mm-hmm. Something like that. So it's pretty sweet from that area, and that's definitely the spot. They were camping out like the night before. They were getting as soon as the doors opened. I think it was like 7:30.
Crazy.
8 o'clock. There was a line, and we were just getting ready in the morning, and they were all going in there, going to turn 1 or turn 6. That was the 2 hot spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
But yeah. So anyway, sorry, I kind of got off topic.
You
there.
did. You normally do. So
that's what I like to do.
Before we obviously saw the action with, Max retaking the lead, overtaking Leclerc, ending up overtaking Lewis, we had a crazy crash. So we had the first safety car, which was Bottas. He beached his car.
Well, we also, before that, though, Latifi spun, but he got that cleared out of the way pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Typical.
I think when Latifi spun, or Bottas spun, I was like, it's Latifi. But can I just tell you, everybody that was sitting at turn 1, every time Latifi went by, we were like, woo! I don't know why, but it just felt good to go with the crowd for a second.
It's because he spun and he was just by himself, and that was all.
Yeah, so we had that safety car, and then it was like, we had maybe, 2 laps of racing, and then it was like a huge crash. Huge. We didn't see it, like, in front of us. It was on, like, the back.
It was the back straight, about halfway through.
The back straight. And it was crazy. My God.
Yeah, so pretty much Alonso was right behind Stroll trying to make a pass.
His future teammate.
And kind of went for the move, and
Stroll went for the block.
Went for the block late, very late. There was a little hesitation on both ends. Alonso went airborne a little bit. He definitely did a wheelie.
A little bit.
Did a wheelie.
The speed that Alonso...
No.
The speed that Alonso was in the air at the time is the same speed as a Boeing 740 taking off.
Yeah, so, I mean, he definitely had enough...
That's crazy.
He had enough speed, or air speed, to actually take off. And thank heaven he didn't take off, because there has been previous years back in the day when they were doing the same site.
Mark Webber, right?
He flipped upside down, and we didn't want to see that. We didn't even want to see Alonso because he was did the wheelie and didn't have control at a weird spot. There was a gap.
He came down
and just
went out of control, hit the wall, but bounced back and kept going.
Yeah, no other issues other than just doing some tire changes and
came in, changed his front wing, and then went on to finish P7.
And then they penalized him, and then now we just reversed it.
Yeah, they gave him a 30-second penalty post-race after he was the flippin' legend finishing that race.
And you know what? He did that in...
Oldest driver on the grid. What a gangster. He called himself a samurai.
In 2017 or 2018 or something like that, he came in with one wheel.
Dude, it was insane.
Yeah, so he's known for doing this. I'm glad that he was.
I'm glad they reversed.
I'm glad they missed the gap where there was the stewards and all those race helpers, all the volunteers there, because there was the opening there, and he just missed it, which was great. Because if he would have hit that in a different spot, it would have been a totally different issue. And it's pretty awesome that he was able to keep that car.
No, I can't believe it. It's crazy. You know? So Stroll DNF'd, obviously. He had the most damage, but they did not red flag the race.
Nope. Which was
weird, and it ended up some drivers picked up some damage. Norris considerably.
He did, yes.
Considerably. His car after was in pretty tough shape. So surprising. Mm-hmm. But, sorry. Do you not see that?
No, I don't.
Driving me crazy.
It's okay.
I keep doing this. Okay, so obviously Hamilton fans out there, exciting to see him competing for the win again. I think that was a cool moment.
Yeah, so if you think it was a good moment, do you think he would have been able to still been competing for the win if Max didn't have a terrible pit stop? Or do you think he would have...
Well, I think it was a little... No.
I think Max would have came back out in the lead.
100%.
Yeah.
But was it a bad strategy for Mercedes to put Lewis on hards?
Well, hard. You went medium, hard.
I know. And, Max went medium, hard, medium.
Right.
And so did Leclerc.
Mercedes didn't have the tires. They talked about it after their strategy.
They had two sets of...
They used those tires early on in different areas because, again, during in practice 2, there was they also had to use test tires.
Yeah.
And I don't think they allocated correctly for the mediums, and I don't know if the mediums would even helped him, honestly. I think Max's pace was so much faster.
Oh, no, yeah. They don't have the straight line speed.
How far... When he came out of the pits after that terrible pit stop, he was, 7 or 8 seconds behind, and he was able to finish in the lead.
4.7 seconds.
By 4.7 seconds?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's fast. His car's fast.
6 laps left. It was definitely heartbreaking because we want to see Lewis win at least once this year. But,
yeah, I think... I've been really wanting to see Lewis get his at least his one win a season and keep it. And I thought it would have been sweet. Well, I would have thought it would have been sweet for Max to get his championship here.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, they ended up getting the Constructors championship, which was pretty cool. However, I would have liked to see Max win his championship here. But I would have liked to see Lewis win here because that would have been a special moment because we would have been there for that. Mm-hmm. And I hope he gets it in Brazil, I guess, because I have to root for Checo in Mexico.
We do.
Unfortunately.
We do. Yes.
There's no other way about that. That's his home race. He came in 3rd last year. I need Checo win for sure in Mexico.
Yeah. I agree. And Is the U.S. Grand Prix a second home race for Checo?
I think so. I think Texas being so close to the Mexican border, so much roots with the Mexican, Latino and Latino area. I think, yes. I think absolutely the culture has to have it. And I think that they're so close that our neighbors in the RV park were all Checo fans.
Oh my God, they were.
I mean, we had some Dutch people from Florida that were Max fans, and we had some Ferrari fans.
Yeah.
But the Checo fans were the party animals.
Yeah.
They were the ones staying out late,
playing music past curfew.
They were the definitely they made it feel like a home race for them. And
it was so cool.
It was. It was fun to root for Checo because he is a good racer to root for.
No, and
for sure.
I think a good example is like we obviously went into the pit lane for the award ceremony at the end, and Checo obviously wasn't top 3, so he wasn't there, but still the audience was like, Checo, Checo.
And it was nice to see that he did come out and take some photos with some of the fans, and I think he signed some autographs for fans too, which is one cool thing that a lot of those drivers do. And if you do have some money to spend, you can have the access to get to meet some of those guys. Like, if you would have pit lane access or media access or stuff like that, or what is the Paddock Club access?
Oh my God.
Mean, you have a lot of access to a lot of these drivers and a lot of celebrities that are all there. Mm-hmm. In America, there was a lot. There was a lot of people. I mean, we got to see Shaq. Always, for the last few years, for some reason, he's the one that brings the trophy in. I don't know why he does that or why he was the one that was chosen to do it, but he does. And then now he's DJing after. And, he had a
pretty cool set.
Yeah.
Now, I would say the talk of the paddock was Brad Pitt. Every time there was something on track going, we were cutting. I mean, we obviously saw it live, but that's Twitter going up in storm.
Yeah.
Cutting to Brad Pitt. So Brad Pitt was there doing his research for his F1 movie that Lewis Hamilton is producing.
Yeah, which is pretty cool to hear. F1 movie I'm excited to see. Mm-hmm. I've watched all the ones that are already out. I mean...
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it. Yeah. How do I be a part of it?
I know. Oh, my God. Send your resume to Apollo Dawn Apollo Films.
Dawn Apollo Films.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else? God, there was so much. Congrats to Red Bull for the Constructors' Championship this weekend. It was a bittersweet weekend for them. They had Dietrich pass away, the Red Bull owner.
Which was a somber moment on Saturday for everybody there. Mm-hmm. And then they dedicated the win in the championship to him, which was, to be expected and good to see because he did help with a lot of these racers.
Mm-hmm. Like half the grid.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers got their start and got their first legitimate deal was through Red Bull. Mm-hmm. So he's done a lot for motorsports and then in Formula One for sure.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
What was your least favorite thing? I don't know. Maybe you already answered me that.
I did. Yeah. I did. I want the international broadcast played at every single track.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Everything else I loved. It was great. There was so much on-track action.
Yeah.
Even qualifying was good, like down to the wire, last lap, Carlos, like even practice. It was great to see the rookie drivers.
Yeah.
We didn't have any red flags or issues with that. So
no, because it's like here's the thing is it's a new track, so they have a lot of runoffs in area. But when they made the track, they made it from taking all the best things from other tracks. Mm-hmm. So they have all the cool things like from Silverstone with the S's there, with Maggots and Beckett's, and then the way they have their two straights, and then the hill that rises with inclines. They took a lot of inspiration from a lot of other tracks, but yet it's modern, so it has all the safety features with all the runoffs and everything like that. So that's why you're not seeing so many red flags. Like turn 1 is a wide. It goes. Remember how wide it was? You know? All those cars.
How could I forget? I looked at it every day. I have a million videos on my phone.
Honestly, and then this year they added the flagpole for the Texas flag, and man, some of those photos that are coming out of there are really sweet.
what was it? Free practice 2 when the sun was setting.
Yes.
And like Charles was out and it was like Top Gun, just like the vibes. It was.
Yeah. Honestly, you don't see, you don't see shots like that. That was some of the best. And that's the thing why I think I like Formula One is because it's so beautiful, and they took and they used it was very cinematic the way they went from all the drone shots to all these low angle shots with the sun, and it had flares for days on that stuff, and it looked really, really epic. Definitely worth. And it's a beautiful thing.
Spoken from a true filmmaker.
I don't know. It was pretty sweet. As far as live broadcasting, it's the most cinematic thing you're going to probably see, and I say that in all sports. Yeah, it was beautiful compared to what you see on basketball or baseball or soccer or football.
For anything.
I don't know. You don't get the shots like you do in that. And in Formula One, their broadcast is pretty epic. They got some really good guys shooting it. They got lots of angles. Mm-hmm. They got angles on the cars.
I know
every single turn.
The helicopter. I was like, this is so amazing. You see it on TV, but it's so amazing to see in real life.
It's a team of, I don't know, let's say 2 to 4 guys operating that thing, and they're a couple 30 feet. In some cases, they were ducking behind a tree, behind the American flag, behind the grandstand, and then ducking around. It was a really cool. It's a spectacle, and honestly, the best racing we saw out of the 2 races that we got to go to this year. If you like off track stuff and you like partying, go to Miami
or stay downtown Austin. There was a lot of events. I saw a lot of people partying that were there.
Yeah, but if you're looking for real racing and the view and that type of aspect, it's definitely Austin.
And I think we kind of got a true race weekend experience camping there, because I feel like when you see some of, and not even just Formula One, but you see these big race events, they're camping on the infield, like at Daytona 500 or, cool stuff like that. So that was, for me, a really awesome experience, and just the accessibility. So.
Yeah, lots of accessibility.
Yes, driver of the day. Was Vettel.
It was Vettel on F1. They voted him. Vettel.
It was great, and I totally feel like Vettel for sure. But I feel like I have to kind of give it to Alonso.
Coming back and finishing.
That was like on another level type of driving.
Yeah, and that's it was pretty good.
I also want to give it to Max, and then I also want to give it to Hamilton. So it was a great race. There was a lot of really good performance across the grid. So very impressive. I'm excited for Mexico.
Yeah, which is right around the block in a corner, or in the next few days, few moments. Honestly, we kind of recorded this late, and I apologize.
Yes.
So if you're watching it, we appreciate it. And
Thank you. We will get into the cost cap on the next episode.
Yeah, because they delayed it too. They were like, "Oh no, we're gonna let."
I need to unpack Christian Horner's press conference that he did today too. So,
for the Mexican,
we need to hear some things. But
you know what? Is the driver? Everything's figured out still so far, except for what, Schumacher's seat
and Williams technically.
Well, Logan, right?
Yeah.
But that's pretty shored up as long as he finishes the race in Formula 2. Mm-hmm. He's got to finish the race.
Well, he's got to do the free practices. So he did today for the Mexican Grand Prix. He's doing Abu Dhabi as well. So I don't see it not being an issue. So, yeah, just Haas.
Well, it's just as Haas's one seat. Mm-hmm. So that's all that's left. So we're almost there with the driver. What is it called? Silly season's almost over on that aspect. Which it's glad, because this year was pretty gnarly. The last one was like 2-3 years ago, and that was kind of crazy with where was Daniel going to go, things like that. But no, I think this year was wild. There was a lot of moving parts.
Are you thinking we're going to see Ricciardo go to Red Bull as a reserve driver?
They did say he's going to be a reserve driver. They just didn't say for who. I think it's either going to be...
Who is the reserve driver at Red Bull right now? Is it Liam Lawson? No, he's F2, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, I don't know who is the reserve driver for them.
Is Nick DeVries just like the reserve driver for every team?
Yeah, I think. I think it's Mercedes, and then they license him out, or lease him out, or rent him out, or however you want to call it.
Yeah.
They let him go drive.
He's driven for like every team.
Well, I mean, get as much time in those cars as you can. Mm-hmm. You know, because next year you're going to be driving.
Yeah.
You know, and you better be putting points down. And he did put points down this year for the one drain. So, look, I think Daniel is either going to surprise everybody and be a Mercedes reserve driver, which I would like to see. But I think a Red Bull one is also very much on the table. The joke is...
Can you imagine him going to Mercedes?
I would like to see him do that because why not? I think maybe Lewis has a little bit of say, and I think maybe he allowed that to happen.
Yeah, I think Lewis has a lot of say at Mercedes.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna
he's gonna sign another multi-year contract.
And why not? I think he's driven enough, and I think he knows that this car, once they get it figured out, will be fast again. For sure.
We did see them come with upgrades. We forgot to mention that this week. They seem to work. They were definitely more on pace. I mean, still far off from Red Bull.
They didn't use all of the upgrades.
But they didn't use their wing.
And I don't know if they're going to use their wing again in Mexico. They were talking about it, but I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, I think it's borderline, quote-unquote, illegal.
I think so, too.
Yes.
So
we'll see.
Yeah, so... if you guys have made it this far, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Our dog, Don Pepe, he appreciated it very much.
Sorry about the delay in the episode this week. If you've ever been to a race weekend, you know it's exhausting. I feel like I'm still recovering and trying to get sleep. But what an experience. If you were there, let us know your thoughts. Where were you sat?
Yeah. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah. We'll see you in a few days.
All right. See ya.